was just going to say that you'll be able to, because all of these lectures are on the website, you'll be able to just plug them right into your car, and if it's, you know, you pull it up on your iPhone, then you can listen to it. So I would recommend doing that even after class. You know, have it going. If you have a commute and it's just going to get just ingrained in you.
This is Mary Ellen Halpert. She's the woman who kind of takes care of the recording. She's not another student who you've got to compete with for like knowledge. Right? All right. So number 2 talks about that if you must miss a class, please, you know, listen or watch, get your homework done. All right. 3, students who, due to circumstances or lack of care, miss 3 class days in the course of a year will be asked to withdraw from the program. I really want the graduates of this class, I want the class itself to have a kind of a, people should know that, oh, you're a graduate from the Bible school, you've been through everything, huh? You don't have to be perfect, but you have been through everything. And so it really is important to me that you attend class days. Written assignments, we'll look at a class day in the textbook, but written assignments are to be handed in to the instructor at the end of the class day in which those lessons were treated. Please, 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 please type. Okay? Handwritten responses will be accepted if the student has exquisite penmanship. Your work will be reviewed. It will not be graded. Not going to have a grade put to it, but reviewed to make sure you're kind of getting it, huh? That you're going up the right street. There might be words of encouragement. There might be words of try again, maybe that sort of a thing. We have a group of I will review some, and we have 5 other graduates of the program who help me. But I'm going to eventually I'll take turns, so I get to see all of your work. So it won't just be a lucky 10. It will be all of you eventually who I will get to look at your work and just make sure that you're following along and that you're not overwhelmed and you're getting the point of it. If you get your homework in a month late, that's forgivable. It's not a mortal sin. But try to get it in. It's easier. It's much more exciting to read it when it's fresh than next month go, oh, this again, okay? So there is, after every 3rd class day, a little review. You might call it a test. It's a little review lesson with a little quiz that comes in. Again, you're going to correct most of it yourself. The objective parts, you'll correct yourself. But I will want to collect and review the subjective parts. Huh? So, I've never had, nobody gets so uptight about tests like grown-up people. Oh my gosh. Yikes. So anyway, just, it's not that bad. Number 6, if you fail to meet these expectations, I will give you a warning. It'll be a written warning. And if you continue to, not be able to manage, I'm going to ask you to withdraw from the class. Some students, if you were to do that, then God willing, if you do this again in 4 years, you can surely step back in. And I'm not saying you're banished. It's just, if you're falling behind, because I want you to work as tables and small groups, and if you're out to lunch, it's going to affect the whole table. And so for their sake is what I'm really concerned about. If you have to withdraw because of that or because of illness and you paid your tuition, we'll make a deal and pay you back in proportion. You can get credit for this program. I don't know that many of you care about credits anymore, but Viterbo University will grant 2 credits. They're called portfolio credits, I guess, for the first 2 years. And 2 for the second 2 years. And the only fee, what's a credit at Viterbo cost today?
It's over $500.
$500 for a credit. You get 2 credits for a $50 filing fee. Okay, because they're not doing any of the teaching, they're not incurring the costs. So if that matters to you, or if you need credits for some other, you can get 4 credits for the 4 years at the price of $100. Okay? Who knew? Who knew?
But they could portfolio that into like a servant leadership program maybe, or do something like that.
Right. What does a class day look like? Open up your textbooks to page 2 and 3. Those of you at home, open up to pages 2 and 3. those of you who are watching online, I will have sent to you, if you let me know that you weren't going to be here tonight, I have scanned all the handouts, and all of this, and you will receive that at home if you've got a computer, and then you can open it and be following along. So this is a typical spread for a lesson, okay? You see the objectives of the lesson are in the box, and then comes read. That's requirements, huh? Not optional. There are later optional readings. These are the required readings. And you'll always see the first readings. The essential readings are the biblical text. So if there's a disaster at home and your children are sick or something happens and you can't get all the work done, just at least read the biblical text. That's the primary text. That's what we're studying. The other texts are secondary. Now, the homework will often be keyed to the secondary. I mean, there's something about the secondary text that they're going to want you to read to answer the question. But still, the primary texts are primary. So in the abbreviations, EDB stands for the Erdman's Dictionary of the Bible. May I borrow yours? This is this big fat heifer of a book here, okay? This is a wonderful biblical dictionary. Now, you might have a Bible dictionary of your own. If it has an article on Exodus, book of, and Hyksos, it might work. If it's a child's Bible dictionary or something, then you might have to step up. I'll speak about the books a little later, but if you ordered books online on your own, you were competing with me. I tried to buy up all the used Erdmans in good. The prices have gone up now. All of a sudden, I mean, they were 22, 24, now they're like 40. So if it was you, shame on you. You didn't know. I was trying to save you all money. I'm always looking out for my students. So, the reading is necessary. Geography task. Now, I told you this book, this text program has been revised, but books go in and out, the secondary books go in and out of publication. The Hammond Atlas is not the atlas we use anymore. You maybe can buy it used, but the Dallas program has gone on to use the Oxford, so that's what we ordered for you, huh? All right? So the page numbers aren't going to, so on page 14, that's not going to help you in the Oxford. You're going to have to look around and kind of find it, okay? The geography is a non-written, do it so that you learn the geography, but there's nothing you've got to hand in or submit about that. Some key terms. You should get to know those terms. You should, this first year, a lot of it will be just learning the people, the places, and the timeline. And it might seem trivial, but until you kind of get that background skeleton, you will not understand the flow of the scriptures. So this first year, and then next year with the New Testament, there may be some of that, these names and all these places, but just keep focusing on it because it will pay dividends later. Until you know the basic story, the higher meaning of the text will evade you often. And then it says written work. That's your study questions that you should prepare. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some of them are, just factual. Some of them are, imagine you're a tree. What kind of tree would you be? That kind of question. I'm not particularly fond of reading that kind of homework. So usually, and I'm sorry if you are going to lacrosse, but in the Wausau people, I will often throw out a question that is tell you, don't worry about that. I'm a much more in my head, objective kind of guy, and things like, let me find one here that it's like, I couldn't read it. It would just make me sick. Lesson 2, turn the page. Number 6, letter A. Imagine that you are a Hebrew slave. Explain how you would feel about the plagues and your subsequent liberation. I'm sorry. I just couldn't stand reading 60 of those. So you will find that sometimes, and again, if you love those kind of questions, Be my guest. Be my guest. Be my guest. I probably won't read them, but go ahead. If that's how you express yourself, okay? That's not me, and getting 60 of that can be a little much. So you see there are 6, so often there may be 5, even 4 and sometimes, but generally 6 questions I would like you to prepare and bring them to class, and that's what you're going to share with your group, with your study group. Huh? Yes?
So do you want this written, or can like bullet points be okay, or is it like a paragraph essay form?
It's any way you want to do it. I'll tell you, sometimes what they're going to ask for works well in a chart. Just don't be afraid of using charts. This stuff at the beginning isn't charty, but whatever works is fine with me. Then it says exercise. Hi, folks. Welcome. Oh, welcome.
We've been waiting for you over at Marathon.
Ah, you didn't read. We did not read the fine print. Take a copy of everything, those sheets there, and a textbook. Welcome. I'm so sorry. Pull up a chair then. So the exercise, don't worry about it. Read it, it's something to think about. And then it has suggestions for additional reading. That's just for your background, okay? So that's a lesson. That's a lesson.
And you want these on paper, or is email not allowed?
I would need it on paper, because you're going to hand them in, and you don't know who's going to read it that month. So it needs to be printed on paper. Any more questions about this first lesson? Anything about this first lesson? I am so sorry, guys.
Memory verse.
Memory verse. It's a nice thing to do. The exams will, that's how you become familiar with the scriptures. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Okay? Other questions? Turn the page.